Hi, welcome to today's class. My name is Helen. Today's practice will be an all-over body flow. We'll start in a simple seated position. So you would sit on a block or a bolster or a cushion. Just elevate your hips higher than your knees. Fold the legs in, however feels comfortable for you. Bring the hands to the knees, face downwards. Shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears. Spine is straight. And close the windows of the eyes. Start to bring your awareness to your breathing, to your inhales, to your exhales. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And just breathe in a pattern that suits your body. Trying to increase the duration of your inhale and of your exhale. So the longer we take to breathe, the calmer we become. And the breath is such a great tool to help us when we're feeling a bit frantic or stressed. Just taking a few moments to soften the breathing, to lengthen it, to focus in, really help to calm us in moments where we're feeling a little frazzled. So as you sit here and breathe, just do a quick body scan. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere, particularly around the jaw, in the neck or the shoulders. Maybe you want to do a few shoulder shrugs to release in that area. Maybe take this time to set an intention for your practice today. Could be somebody that you wish to dedicate all this positive energy you're going to generate to. Maybe it's a single word that you connect with, a personal mantra, something that you can come back to during the class, just silently in your own mind. When you've chosen your intention, just bring the hands together at the chest, press the base of the hands into each other, press all the fingers and thumb pads into each other. Keep a little space in between the palm of the hands. Then on an inhale, lift this prayer up to the sky. As you exhale, bring it down through the center line, briefly touching the forehead, the third eye. And as you bring it back to the chest, slowly flutter the eyes open. So you're sitting on a block or a bolster, just push it off to one side. And we'll start in hands and knees. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And just start to move the hips in a circle. Maybe starting on the left, coming forward on the right. Going back to the left, forward on the right side. Just do this nice and slow. Remembering to breathe. If you get to a bit where it feels a bit tight, maybe you want to hang out there. Just taking this time to build some body awareness about how you're feeling. And then go the other way. So inhaling forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back, inhale forward, exhale back. And then return to the center. So just warm up the spine with some cat-cow. So on an inhale, the belly dips and the head lifts. Chest through the gates of the arms. You exhale round the spine. Head comes down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And then return to center. Plant this left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, arm comes under, thread the needle. So bring the right shoulder down, right cheek down. Extend the left hand out to the front of the mat, grounding the palm. Pulling the left shoulder away from the ears. Breathing here. Then place the left hand back to the mat. Inhale, right arm opens. Exhale, hand comes down. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Thread the needle left side. So left cheek and shoulder comes down. Extend this right arm forward. Ground the hand. Pull the right shoulder away from the ear. And enjoy this little mild twist. Then plant the right hand, left hand comes back up, left hand comes down. Right toes come out on the outside of the mat, so you're opening the hip in external rotation. Tuck the left toes and then sit back to the left heel, lengthening out of the waist. Join this outer hip stretch, it's quite a deep stretch, all in this right glute. Always remembering to breathe, just going to the depth of the pose that feels right for you. Then inhale, come back up. Second side. Left toes outside the left side of the mat. Tuck the right toes under. Sit back to the heel. Keeping the spine long. Shoulders are relaxed. Feeling the stretch in the left hip. And then coming back up. Move the hands about one handprint in front. Tuck the toes, and on an inhale, the seat comes up to the sky for downward facing dog. So initially keep the knees bent and get your position. So hands are planted shoulder width apart, collarbones are wide, triceps are rotated under. The seat goes up to the heavens, lengthening out of the waist, keeping the belly engaged. Maybe you can start to pedal the legs, walking your dog. Nice and easy here, just warming up the hamstrings, getting out any kinks, any tightness, any tension. Using this time to just let it all go. And then start to settle the heels, descending to the earth and never need to touch. And then on an inhale, right leg lifts to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring the knee forward and plant the foot between the hands. So you can manually get the foot there if necessary. And this low runner's lunge. So really lengthen the spine out of the waist, knee on the fingertips, and then bring the back knee down. As you inhale, bring the body up. Hands come over this front knee. descend into the hips, feeling the stretch all in the left hip flexor, the psoas. So you can get a bit of a deeper stretch if you back off a little bit. Bring the pelvis more neutral rather than descending forward. So immediately you can feel this stretch in the hip flexor, keeping the front ribs engaged and the core engaged. Enjoying this stretch. And then release the hands down. Back knee lifts, so you're on the back toes. Plant this left hand under the shoulder and inhale the right arm up for an easy twist. So trying to keep both hips facing the floor and the twist coming from the upper spine. Maybe look up at the top hand. And exhale, come down. Ground into both hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up between the hands. Lengthen out of the waist in this runner's lunge, keeping the back leg straight and strong on the back toes. And then exhale, bring this back knee down. Inhale, the body comes up. Remembering descending into the hips, but trying to keep the pelvis neutral. So this sort of slight tuck, you get much deeper into this stretch here. Using the breath. Front ribs are in. Then plant the hands. Lift the back knee, keeping this right hand planted, hips facing downwards. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Easy twist. Maybe looking up at this left hand, feeling the twist in the mid to upper back. Then exhale, release down, step back, downward facing dog. Moving on. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up. Inhale, high lunge. And then grab hold of the left wrist and pull the body over for double crescent. So we're leaning over to the right. You should really feel it in this left hip flexor. Keeping the front ribs in, core engaged. Then inhale, straighten, plant the back heel. So you're in heel to arch alignment, open out into warrior two. So keeping the knife edge of the back foot grounding into the floor, front knee is bent. Try and keep the hips neutral, shoulders are over the waist. Front thighs parallel to the floor as you can get it. Arms out to a T, shoulders away from the ears. Gazing point is the middle finger of the front hand. So this is warrior two. So great isometric hold to bring strength into the thighs. Then inhale, flip the palm and lean back into reverse warrior. So the back hand can come to the back leg. This is a side stretch, making sure the front knee stays bent. Then inhale back to warrior two. Plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. Lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Side B, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps up. Inhale, high lunge. Pulling this left hip back, the right hip forward. Back leg straight and strong. Front ribs are engaged, shoulders away from the ears, and the arms straight. This time circle the left fingers around the right wrist and pull over to the left for double crescent. So this is a balance. Find a fixed gazing point. Then inhale back to center, and we'll open up into warrior two. So the back heel, back foot plants, heel to arch alignment, front knee bends, hips are neutral, arms out to a T, shoulders away from the ears. Gazing point is the middle finger of the front hand. Always look back to see where your arm is. Breathe here, keeping the inner thighs engaged. That left glute is scooping under. Then inhale, flip the front palm, come back for reverse warrior. Right hand comes on the back of the right leg gently and stretch back. So we have a tendency to let the front knee straighten in this pose because we can't see it. So make sure your front knee remains bent. Then inhale, come back up, cartwheel the hands down, step back, plank. You can lower knees, chest and chin, or maybe chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Maybe pedal out the feet. And we'll move on. Inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Back foot plants, come up, warrior two. So you've got heel to arch alignment, arms are out to a T. We'll move into side angle pose. So lean out of the waist, maybe bring the elbow to the front thigh. Inhale and scoop the left arm down, up and around. And stretch the arm to the front of the room. Gazing point is the palm. If it's within your practice, you may bring this hand down to a block or to the floor. If not, you can stay up on the elbow. Then inhale, lift back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Move into triangle. So leaning forward out of the waist. And then you're going to move the body as a unit. Come down to either the block, the shin or the floor. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. Triangle, Trikonasana. So ground into the right big toe mound. Right thighs rotated outwards. Both sides of the waist are long. Shoulders away from the ears. Gazing point is the top hand. There's a lot going on in this pose. Then inhale, use the top arm to pull you back up. Bend the knee, cartwheel the hands down. Plank. Lower through knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up. Plant the back heel and come up to warrior two. So get your position, hips are neutral. This back hip has a tendency to hitch up. So try and keep this as neutral as possible. Inner arch is active. Left glute scooped under. You can look back at the back hand. And then we'll move from here into side angle pose. So the elbow can come down to the thigh and scoop this top arm down, up and around, opening the chest to the sky, gazing point is the palm. Remember, if it's available to you, you could have your hand on the floor. Keep the waist active. Remembering to breathe, don't hold the breath. And then inhale, we come up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. And we'll come into Trikonasana this side. So arms out to a T. This right glute is scooped under, ground into the front foot, big toe mound, and then tip from the waist and come into triangle. So you can use your block here at any height. Both sides of the waist are long, shoulders are stacked. Gazing point is the top hand if it's good for your neck. Really lengthen out of the waist. Try and use the strength of the waist to hold the body rather than dumping the weight. Remembering to breathe. Feeling the stretch in the left hamstring. Then inhale, come back up. Plant the hands. We'll step back to plank. Knees, chest and chin. Or maybe give chaturanga a try. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the mat. Big toes together and sit back to child's pose. And breathe here. Reconnecting. Allowing the heart rate to go down. So those standing poses can be quite hard if you hold them for several breaths. They're all isometric holds. They really build strength in the body. Then inhale, come back up, sitting on the heels, and we move into hero pose. So this is a great front body opener. So keeping the knees, so the thighs remain parallel out of the hips. Just bring the feet out to the sides. Take the flesh of the calves and sit down in between your heels. Now, if this is impossible for you, you can sit on a block and just elevate the hips. Probably feels a lot better. You may feel, if you feel any pain in the knees, then make sure you're sitting up on a block or just don't do the pose. So do whatever feels comfortable for you. Remember, the thighs are coming directly out of the hip joint. Lengthen the spine. You can stay sitting upwards, or maybe if it's available to you, you can come back to the elbows. So this was a great opening for the hip flexors and for the quads. If you've got some more in you, maybe you can come flat all the way to the floor. If you're on the floor, just grab the elbows behind the head and settle here. Maybe close the eyes. And surrender to the earth. Couple more breaths. And if you're all the way down, release the arms, ground into the elbows, push yourself up, come over onto hands and knees, and just gently release one foot at a time back, just rocking backwards and forwards on the ball of the foot, just allowing circulation back into the knees. And then the other one. Being gentle and kind with the body. And then come to sit on the seat. We will move into Baddha Konasana. So this is bound angle pose or butterfly. So interlace the fingers around the feet. Really squeeze the heels together. So the key to opening the hips in this pose is the heels squeezing together. Lengthen the spine as best you can. And maybe you can use the elbows into the thighs. Lengthen, inhale, and as you exhale, tip forward. So you may only come forward a few degrees. For me, I find this pose quite difficult, and this is about as far as I can get. You can start to open the feet like they're books, pressing the elbows in, but trying to keep the spine long. Using the breath, using the strength of the inner thighs to just try and open a bit more. And inhale, come back up. We'll move into Baddha Konasana B, where you can round forward. So lengthen out for the waist, and then exhale, maybe the head comes down. You round the upper spine and release. As you breathe here and let go, you may find you can get a bit deeper. And then inhale. We slowly come back up. Bring the knees together and just bring the forehead to the knees, maybe circle around the shin. And just bring the head down, just releasing the upper back. And inhale, come back up. And then using the strength of the core, placing the feet on the floor, arms plugged in, come down one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Bring the knees both into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze. Then place the right foot to the floor, left ankle on the right thigh, and we'll come into figure 4. So use the strength of this right leg to bring the foot closer to the body. Remember this, keeping the foot flexed. This left knee is moving away from the body, so the movement is coming from the hip. Maybe you can grab the back of the right thigh. Maybe you can grab around the shin, keeping the entire length of the spine on the floor. Breathe here. And then exhale, release. Release the left foot down. Right ankle crosses over left knee. Remember, moving away, the movement is coming here from the hip. Keeping the right foot flexed. Inhale the left leg up. Maybe grab behind the left thigh. Maybe grab around the shin. And settle here. So this is a hip opener. If you find it difficult to do pigeon pose, this is always an alternative that you can do. So you don't have the entire body weight on the hip opening and the knee like you do in pigeon. It's still the same shape, but it's not as much pressure on you. One more deep breath. Exhale, release. Release this foot down. So bring the feet directly underneath the knees, grounding into the earth, hip distance apart. And we'll do one bridge pose. So grounding into the shoulders. Inhale, lift the pelvis. Keeping the equal weight in both feet. Trying to get space in this lower back. Imagining the knees are going towards the front of the mat. Feeling the openness all in the hip flexors. This is also a great posture to do if you've done a lot of core. It really stretches out the front body. Then exhale, release. Squeeze the knees in one last time. Maybe rock gently side to side, massaging out the sacrum. And then one leg at a time, release down, your feet down to the bottom of the mat. Allow them to flop open. Totally relax those legs. Palms facing upwards, shoulders tucked under. Chin is slightly tucked, the back of the neck is long. Eyes are closed. Breathing is relaxed. The tongue is relaxed, the jaw is relaxed. And surrender into the earth as you lay here in this final posture, corpse pose. Release into the ground. Take this time to reflect on the intention that you set for yourself at the start of practice. Whether you dedicated your class to somebody, or you thought of a word or a mantra, just reconnect now. And then lay here for as long as feels comfortable for you. I'd like to thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope to see you again soon in class. Enjoy the rest of your day.